Hey everyone, it's Rarest Lego Minifigures here today with a very special item in my collection. This is taking a top 10 spot in the pieces that I own. This is the solid sterling silver R2-D2 minifigure. It's one of 10. This figure was originally released back in 2018, and when I say released, I use that term rather lightly. So the way to enter into the contest to win this is relatively restricted. So you actually went to a Lego store and purchased Star Wars products in quantity or excess of $75. And if you did that, you actually won one of these little boxes here that I'll show you is unopened. So one of these boxes here, little mystery gift box. And so the contents of this box included Admiral Yurlin poly bag, which is of course now going for a little bit more than it used to. Hoth Han Solo, Stormtrooper Sergeant, Scarif Stormtrooper, and then DJ. And so that's 5 polybags total. Lego put the value of this box at $10, which, if you add up the values of those individual polybags, is of course much more than that now, especially with the recent Andor series. But again, a very simple box. And in addition to those 5 polybags, you actually had one more item, which was a little card. And the little card contained information about how to enter into a sweepstakes to win some pretty big prizes, and that included the sterling silver R2-D2 that you see here in front of you today, as well as prizes such as a platinum R2-D2 that I may or may not, of course, review at some point in the near future, and then also a couple other little options for gifts. But these were really the grand prizes. And again, taking that little card, how you entered is you then took the information, had a little link on it, went online, and online you just filled in your kind of contact information, name, email address, etc., to try to get this item. And obviously, with only 10 being produced, your odds of winning that for the many people that are purchasing these Star Wars items in excess of $75 was pretty slim. And this contest really wasn't open very long. I was actually quite surprised. Really only from December 17th to December 19th in 2018. So in addition to already having a pretty restrictive numbers, you have a sense of restriction for even the amount of time you had to enter. Now, there was a few winners for this item. I don't even think they gave out all 10. If you're asking me, I would not be at all surprised if a couple of these are actually in the hands of higher-ups in the Lego community. And, they often do that. But, there's actually even one that was a sample. So truthfully, even though it says, 3 of 10 produced for my specific copy, there's more than 10. There's at least 11 that I'm aware of, with one again being a sample for the person that actually designed this beautiful piece. So, again, in consideration of where these people were, as far as I'm aware, knowing where a couple of them are, it's really been more restricted to the United States. A friend of mine ended up purchasing. I obviously purchased this one, and the way I actually found where this piece was contacted on Instagram, said, hey, I know you collect rare Lego items. I've got this item for sale. And I recently won it in a contest, and this was all back in 2019. And the person actually only lived less than 2 hours away from me. And once we agreed to terms regarding a purchase price, which I, of course, will not be disclosing, once we reached a deal of a purchase price, just met up in person, and it was a little bit of a shady place. I remember I got lost on the way there. They got a little bit lost as well. We ultimately ended up meeting in a parking garage, just a little bit shady, a parking garage with no one else around. But thankfully, I was a man of my word, and they were excellent, very, very kind people. And it was a little family, and they ultimately sold it to me without a problem, no hitch at all. And I took the item from there and added to my collection, and I'm thrilled to have it, of course, with me today. It's one of those items that, of course, will never be leaving, will always be hanging out with me. So, with all those kind of details, of course, let's take a closer look at the item to begin with. So, I have this actually framed in an additional acrylic box. So it's important to note that what you see in front of you, is not the original way that was given to the winners or given to me, in fact. It's kind of difficult to tell the difference, but you can see this acrylic box kind of wraps around the outside. And then if you see where my finger follows along here, the figure, the certificate, and all that is actually framed within acrylic as well. So this is almost like a double acrylic protection, but I just don't want it to exposed, to general hand holding and all that stuff, and people carrying it around, getting fingerprints on it, dropping it, heaven forbid. Wanted it to have an extra layer of protection, which is why it's in that, and also why I'm not wearing gloves or anything like that. I'm not worried about damaging the item. So again, just looking at it in general, you can see it. The backing of it has a really nice certificate of authenticity. This transmission certifies that you are the owner of a solid sterling silver R2-D2 minifigure. I'm actually going to take the phone off the stand here and focus in on that for you. So, and then underneath you can also see 3 of 10 produced, some small copyright information there at the bottom. You have a really nice certificate backing here, Leia, Luke, C-3PO, R2-D2, again, certificate of authenticity, Lego Star Wars, and going down here to the bottom, the figure itself, which is just beautifully cast in this sterling silver. Again, getting a couple views of it for you and looking over top. So acrylic within acrylic within acrylic, really. But a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Really, really happy to own it. Now, the back is really unexciting, so I'm not going to spend time on it. It's just a white backing piece of paper. But I really like the way that Lego ultimately chose to present this piece and give it to the winners. The way they actually ended up shipping it was horrifying. It was just shipped in a single cardboard box that was almost not sizable enough for it. They also included like a little letter congratulating the original winner, which I also have in the collection as well. But the piece is really well produced. You'll see other items like older exclusive giveaway items that are quite limited in a release that I'll show you later that just were not packaged as well. Like this is in a nice acrylic case. Yes, I cannot access the figure. I can't take it out. Everybody loves to know, does it articulate? How does it compare to, the real R2-D2 minifigure? And I can say it's scaled the same. Like if you take a regular R2-D2 minifigure, it's going to be basically the same size as like your simple 2-inch model. However, again, does it articulate all that? I cannot answer for you, unfortunately, because I can't take it out. And I'm not going to break open the acrylic to try to find out. I can add that the R2-D2 figure, like I can't take the top off the base. I imagine you probably cannot take the legs off of the torso as well. And the way it's currently positioned, by the fact that it just sits there like that, I'm guessing it's a single solid piece. I really don't have the exact information. I do know the original designer. I'm sure I could ask him, how all that was planned out and potentially has that additional information. But for our intents or purposes today, don't really know. In terms of a value of this piece, you really can't put a value on something like this very easily. They don't really come up for sale. You've seen them occasionally. Again, I know of my piece. I know of an owner of another one, and he purchased it, and he found that person on Reddit. And again, just saying, oh, what is it worth? What is all that worth? In my mind, again, it's something that just simply can't put a price on because, I'm not interested in selling it. I know my friend that owns one is also not interested in selling it. And if none others come up for market, really, again, you can't really put a price tag on something. It would have to be basically what someone offered me versus also what I agreed. But I'm not interested in selling. To me, and to some extent, it's priceless. Now, of course, if one ever comes up on the market for sale, and it's agreed upon price and all that, and it's public, you'll have a better idea of what one of these could about to go for. But until that such time point, the point is kind of moot. But again, very, very expensive item. If you're asking me what I would sell mine for, we're talking 6 digits and above in US dollars. So it's a very, very special item to me. For my collection, I really am happy that I have it, and happy to share it with you all today. So if you, of course, have any questions, comments about the piece itself, please put it in the comments below. Please let me know what you would like me to see reviewed next. I'm really enjoying making these videos and talking about the history of these items I'm very, very passionate about. If you have additional questions about the item too, of course, let me know. But subscribe to see more videos like this, more products that you perhaps would otherwise not see. And again, let me know what you would like me to see review next. Thanks for watching.